I'm also privileged and honored to introduce a second member of the Transylvania University Pioneer Hall of Fame, Judy Henry. A native of Paris, Kentucky, Judy arrived on the campus in the fall of 1978. While in high school, Judy was a member of the Paris Greyhounds basketball team and captain during her junior and senior years. Her teams won 4 district championships, 2 regional championships, and was runner-up in just the 3rd Kentucky High School Athletic Association's Girls Sweet 16 tournament. While basketball was initially considered to be Judy's primary sport, she quickly adapted to field hockey and eventually became a 4-year starter, lettering all 4 years. Her field hockey teams won the KWIC championships her junior and senior year, and her penalty stroke clinched the 1981 tournament win. She was an outstanding defensive player, and Judy, I think that penalty stroke was against Asbury. Sorry, Holly. Judy was a 3-year starter in basketball. An unfortunate automobile accident during her junior year shortened her participation that year to 2 games. During her career, she played in 75 games and had a total of 633 points, 353 rebounds, 146 assists. Again, her defensive play was outstanding. As a varsity sport, softball was introduced at Transylvania during Judy's junior year. Of course, Judy was immediately a starter on that first team. According to one teammate, quote, "She hit the ball well and very hard, along with being a sure fielder with a strong, accurate throwing arm on defense," end of quote. Her coach, the late Harry Stevenson, was also telling me what a great player Judy was. Harry did everything. The Pioneers didn't have a traditional cross-country program during Judy's tenure. However, we did enter a cross-country team that won the KWIC tournament in 1981. The team was weak in seasoned members, but strong at heart. One of her teammates remembered the win this way, quote, "I was having difficulty breathing completing the first half mile. I sounded much like a mule exhausted from work in the field. Judy reached for my arm and made very deliberate eye contact and simply said, 'Come on, you can do this,'" quote, end of quote. Her faith in me and her willingness to push me through that last half mile enabled me to score valuable points and even barely pass her at the finish. Regardless of the sport, Judy was held in high esteem by her teammates. Here are some reflections from 3 former teammates, all now Pioneer Hall of Famers. Connie Oliver remarked, "She had a super can-do attitude and always gave 110%. She had an extreme will to win, and her love of playing the game was evident and contagious. She made us all look and play better," end of quote. Kim Ward-Berry said, "It's always about the team to Judy. She was quiet, loyal, disciplined, and tenacious. She was firm but gentle as a team leader and consistently presented with excellent work ethic at practice and on the field. Her poise and her willingness to always give a little more stands out the most as I think back to those most memorable wins," end of quote. Deanna Darrell added, "Judy was an athlete who made teammates better regardless of the sport. She was a determined leader and a fierce competitor. Teammates wanted to emulate her and opponents wanted to shut her down," end of quote. Much of Judy's time at Transylvania was devoted to these varsity sport activities. At the same time, she was an excellent and diligent student, both in high school and college. While at Transy, she was named to the dean's list on 4 different occasions. She also found time to participate in intramural basketball and volleyball. After graduation, Judy began work with the United Parcel Service, using her traits of dedication, enthusiasm, hard work, and leadership. Although she started as a package car driver, her experiences and responsibilities quickly expanded. She first became a supervisor for industrial engineering and operations. After that, she was promoted to the position of regional manager for industrial engineering in the corporate office of the Southwest region. The next major step for Judy was to become a district president, beginning with the upstate New York district, which included the responsibility for 4,500 employees, and ending with the Central Plains district with 14,000 employees. Judy retired from United Parcel Service in 2015 and now resides in Nashville, Tennessee. Congratulations, Judy, on such an awesome career. In athletics, in academics, and in her career, Judy Henry has performed very, very well. In my 28 years at Transylvania, Judy is certainly one of the most talented, versatile, and accomplished student athletes with whom I have worked. And Transylvania has certainly been well represented by her outstanding accomplishments in industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Judith Elaine Henry as the newest member of the Transylvania Pioneer Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Ms. Deacon, for those very kind words. It's really great to be back at Transylvania, and what wonderful growth and expansion the university has experienced since I left here in 1982. I went through 9 relocations with EPS in 9 different states, so I didn't get the opportunity to really come back to Transy very often, but I did keep up through the newsletters and such on what was going on here. I'm deeply honored to receive this award this evening and would like to recognize those who helped me with my nomination. If you could please stand as I announce your name, starting with Mrs. Pat Deacon, who was my coach, academic advisor, and friend. Ms. Deacon got in touch with Barbara Whitson, who is a fellow Paris and Bourbon Countyan, and was able to get in touch with my nephew, Bo Henry. I love Bo dearly. Stand up, Bo. I love Bo dearly, even though he is a graduate of that other college over in Danville, Kentucky. I'd like to thank those who wrote letters of recommendation on my behalf, the Pioneer Club Advisory Council, and I'd be remiss if I didn't go back to my past and recognize the late Diana Burke, which I would ask Susan Odom to stand up and represent Berkey. She kept me out of trouble when I moved from the big city of Carlisle to the big city of Paris, through lots of activity and organized sports in the YMCA. And finally, I'd like to recognize my high school basketball coach, Judy Cox, who is a good friend and mentor to me. Please give these people a round of applause. I started my athletic career at Transy in 1978. Now, Miss Deacon knew she had a group of girls coming in who wanted to play basketball. She also knew that she needed field hockey players on her team. So Miss Deacon let the word out through one of us, and it spread to all of us, if you want to get in shape for basketball, you better come out for field hockey to get in shape. Well, we were all so competitive and ready to play basketball that every one of us went out for field hockey, and we were very successful in doing so. As a matter of fact, we were much more successful in field hockey than we ever were in basketball. I just told you about the group of girls who played field hockey and also came to play basketball. That meant that we were together as teammates 5 to 6 days a week from September through February or March. And those of you who are female in the room know what happens when you put a bunch of women together for that long a period of time. Bevan Pace's parents owned an RV at the time. Bevan was a teammate and a schoolmate of mine. And her parents were kind enough to take us in their RV on our away trips, both in field hockey and basketball. I can remember from the very first trip that we took in the RV, everybody sat in the exact same seat every single trip that we took. Every single time we got on that RV, you went to the same seat. As I look back at it now, I don't think it was RV at all. It was more like a hen house on wheels. We practiced penalty strokes, as Miss Deacon said, for 4 years. The part she left out was you had to stay after practice to be a part of the penalty stroke team, and there was only 2 or 3 of us that did that. So after everybody else could go back to the dorm after practice, we hung out and practiced penalty strokes. After 4 years, we looked at Miss Deacon and said, Miss Deacon, we've never used a penalty stroke to this point. What in the world makes you think that we're going to use one now? Oh, just keep practicing, girls. You're going to need a penalty stroke one of these days. Well, sure enough, it comes down to the finals in the state tournament. The score is tied 0-0, and the game goes into a penalty stroke. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a player that goes one-on-one with the goalie of the opposite team, and your goalie takes on a person from the opposite team. So with one scooping motion, you try to score a goal, and that actually scores a point. Well, I knew that we were going into penalty strokes, and I knew I was one of the folks that was able to do it. If I could have dug a hole in that field hockey field and crawled into it so Miss Deacon couldn't see me, I would have done it at that point. But sure enough, she says, Judy Henry, you go for the penalty point. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this can't be happening. Miss Deacon told me it was going to come down to this. I didn't believe her. It just goes to show you need to always listen to your coach. One more quick field hockey story. We started playing field hockey in shorts, and every team that we went to play would show up in these little skirts. And we started making fun of them, saying, what are these girls doing playing sports in skirts? Well, it didn't take us very long because we were pretty quick studies then. After all, we were at Transy. We showed up for our third or fourth game, and again, they had on these little skirts to come out and play us. Well, we realized that those were actually called kilts. And for the first time probably in any of our lives, we asked Miss Deacon to get us a skirt, and we wanted to wear a skirt to play an athletic event. So Miss Deacon obliged us and got us all kilts, and we were very happy, and we played in them from then on out. One last story I'll tell you. Celebrating my 21st birthday, I was a little bit overserved because I had to try out my ID just to make sure it worked. The next day, we had a basketball game with Alice Lloyd University in Pippa Passes, Kentucky. Lord knows there is not one single straight road between Transylvania University and Pippa Passes. That particular ball game, we had to take the Transy van. I only had to ask Miss Deacon to pull over one time to let me go into the restroom and regroup myself so I could make it the rest of the trip. We made it to Alice Lloyd. We were going through the first half. I'll go to throw a pass to my fellow guard, and all of a sudden, every light in the building went out, and there were no windows. You could not see your hand in front of your face. I remember telling my teammates, welcome to my world. This is exactly how I felt all day long. Transy prepared me well for a 33-year career with UPS. My last assignment before retiring in February of 2015 was the president and district manager of 4 states with the responsibility of 14,000 people, and I couldn't have taken on that responsibility without Transylvania. Thanks again for this honor.